Okay, so very good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about the contract farming and public-private partnership. It is a very interesting topic, contract farming and then public-private partnership. And you might have heard all these two terms, contract farming and public-private partnership. You know, Indian agriculture is dominated by smallholders. There are 86% or even more smallholders, including marginal and small holder farmers having land area less than 2 hectares. So they are in dominance. Sorry. They are in dominance and they are almost 86%. Then the average size of land holding is also very tiny. The average size of land holding is around 1 hectare, 1.08 hectare. Then farmers generate very small marketable surplus because they have very tiny land holdings. So they generate very tiny marketable surplus, the surpluses which are available, which are made available to the market for marketing. Then their linkages with the markets are also very weak. They have very small surpluses. Their bargaining power is very less, and in general, they have very weak linkage with the market. So alone, they are unable to make dent on the markets. They are unable to influence the market forces, the market alone. They often fail to realize remunerative prices. It is a common complaint by the farmers. They often complain that they didn't get the prices they should get. So they often fail to realize remunerative prices and often lack information and inputs. It is another constant that they often lack information, they often lack desirable inputs, the inputs required for the production. Contract farming provides a plausible solution to many of these problems. Well, contract farming is one of the models which can solve many of these problems to set up and adopt technically, commercially, and economically viable agribusiness solutions. It provides solutions for setting up, adopting technically, commercially, and economically viable aggregate business solutions. Japan was the first country who introduced the contract farming in 1895 in Taiwan. Then Europeans were the first who introduced it in indigo and opium cultivation in the Bengal region under the regime of East India Company. When the East India Company was ruling India, they introduced a kind of contract for the production of indigo and opium. In 1920s, ITC formalized contract farming with farmers in Andhra Pradesh for growing Virginia tobacco. Virginia is a type of tobacco which is used for manufacturing cigarettes. So ITC was the first. In 1920, it introduced contract farming in Andhra Pradesh, entered into the agreement with the farmers for the production of Virginia tobacco. Then Pepsi company introduced it in India for cultivation of tomato and potato in 1927. We all see everywhere potato chips are available. Pepsi and entered into the agreement with the farmers for the production of potato, which are suitable for preparing chips. And now it is available everywhere, you can see. Green Revolution further provided impetus to the contract farming. Green Revolution made it possible to increase the production, to enhance the production, and then contract farming was introduced. In Karnataka, contract farming was started with the production of gherkin in 1920. Gherkin is a crop. Gherkin is a crop which is produced in Karnataka. Then contract farming is generally an agreement between unequal parties. We have farmers, we have corporate sectors, companies, and between them an agreement is signed and a kind of contract is negotiated. So contract farming is essentially an agreement between unequal parties, that is companies, government bodies, or individual entrepreneurs on the one hand, and economically weaker farmers on the other. And it is the definition given by the FAO. FAO highlighted that contract farming is an agreement between two unequal parties where one is farmer and other are the parties which are more and much better than the farmers in terms of economic condition. That it is, however, an approach that can contribute to both increased income for farmers and higher profitability for sponsors. So it creates a kind of win-win situation both for the farmers and for the marketers, for the companies which entered into the agreement with the farmers. So it enables both the parties to harness the benefits of the contract farming. If efficiently organized and managed, contract farming reduces risk and uncertainty for both parties as compared to buying and selling crops on the open market. So it is a general complaint. It has been observed that farmers often face a kind of risk, production risk, price risk, different kinds of risks are there, and contract farming helps in minimizing those kind of risks, particularly price risk, because the prices are negotiated before entering into the contract. So the farmers have pre-negotiated price and the companies buy on those price, so it reduces the price risk. Contract farming is defined as an agreement between farmers and processing or marketing firm for the production and supply of agricultural product under forward agreements at predetermined prices. So you can see here that it is an agreement. It is an agreement between farmers and processing or marketing firms. For the objective is for the production and supply of agricultural products under forward agreements at predetermined price. So there is a predetermined price. It is an agreement between farmers and processing or marketing firms, and the objective is to get the produce, to get the production and supply of agricultural products from the farmers, which can be supplied, which should be supplied, which is to be supplied in the markets on the by the firms, and they procure the products from the farmers on predetermined prices. The important feature of contract farming is that the buyer public contractor provides all the materials, inputs, and technical advice regarding crop production to the farmers. So when a firm enters into the contract, negotiates the contracts with the farmers, apart from the predetermined price, they also provide the technical inputs and consultancy advices to the farmer with respect to crops which are to be grown. So it is another advantage that farmers get the idea, get the information, as well as the raw materials for the production of the particular crop. In general, farmers lack, we have already discussed that farmers lack awareness. They are unable to purchase the inputs, that too reliable inputs. So contract farming assures that the farmers get reliable inputs and reliable kind of information for the production of crops. It is a system for the production and supply of land-based and allied produce by primary producer under advance contracts. So it is a system. It is a system that that enables the supply of products, land-based products, which is cultivated on land, or the products like primary products like milk and milk to the marketers for marketing. The essence of such contract is commitment to supply agricultural products of a specific type at a specific time at a specific price and quality to the contracting party. So this last is very important. The essence of such contract, it is the crux of the agreement contract, that it is a commitment to supply. So farmers make a commitment that they will supply agricultural products of a specific type at a specific time, at a specific price, and of a specific quality to the contracting power. So everything are decided before the contract, that what kind of products will be produced, what would be the quality of that product, what would be the time when the product will be supplied to the firms. So everything is predetermined, and price is also predetermined. So there are three types of contract. First is procurement contract. In procurement contract, only sale and purchase condition are mentioned. So only sales and purchase conditions are mentioned. Then in partial contract, apart from the purchase and sales condition, supply of inputs, some sort of inputs are also assured. So this is the partial contract, where only some inputs are supplied by the contracting party, and the farm output is purchased at predetermined price. So it is always there. Procurement of products at determined price will always be there. But in partial contract, apart from the providing the predetermined price, supply of input is also given. Then in total contract, contracting party supplies and manages all the inputs of the firm, and farmer becomes just a supplier of land and labor. So in third case, in total contract, everything is met by the contracting firm. Farmer has to provide them their land and the labor. So apart from land and labor, all other inputs are provided by the contracting party, contracting firm. Then contract farming has certain advantages, of course, and it gives advantage to both the parties, the farmers and the firms. Advantage to the farmers are provision of inputs and production of services. So often farmers lack the quality inputs, and they don't have sufficient money to buy the inputs, and thus the firm assures them to provide the quality inputs at the negotiated terms, and also production services like extension services, etc. Then access to credit. This is the another advantage, that when a contract is formalized, there is a big party, a big firm, which is there to assure the financiers that they are involved in such kind of contracts, and thus getting credits, access to credit becomes easier. So it is another advantage. Then introduction of appropriate technology is also possible, because the firm is there. They can help the farmers in adoption of appropriate technologies of the so that they can get the required the product of required quality. Then a skill transfer is also possible. The farms train makes arrangements for the training of the farmers in different kinds of production processes. So it helps in skill transferring, and guaranteed and fixed pricing structure is the another advantage, and access to reliable markets. So guaranteed and fixed pricing structure means that everything regarding the price is fixed earlier, and there is a guarantee that at given price, if the product is of giving conforming quality and standards, if it is supplied on given time, if it is supplied in given quantity, then firm is bound to buy those products at the pre-negotiated terms and conditions. So this is guaranteed. The pricing structure is fixed, and this helps the farmers to reduce the price risk. Then access to reliable markets. So farmers become able to access the reliable markets because the farm has an agreement with the farmers. So farmers need not to worry about the marketing. Then it has certain disadvantages also. It also has some problems. And the first is problems faced by, and this is with regard to the farmers. So increased risk. What is increased risk? We have already discussed that the contract farming is one of the tools to reduce the risk, production risk, marketing risk. But sometimes, if the farms are not reliable, many new farms come, they enter into the contract with the farmers, and then after some times, they procure the products, and then diss the farmer. So this is one of the risks, that if the farms are not established, if their motive is not correct, then it may lead to risk also. Then unsuitable technology and co incompatibility. This is the another disadvantage. Sometimes, due to looking at the advantages of the contracts, farmers adopt those technologies and crops which are not appropriate, not compatible to their cropping system, those areas. So in the earlier stage, it can give some advantages, it can generate some remuneration, some income, but after some times it may become disadvantageous also. Then manipulation of quotas and quality specification. This is the another disadvantage. Sometimes the farm after harvest say that no, this product is not of that quality that we like. So certain types of manipulation, and then negation is possible. They start negating the products, and this can, because farmers are at the receiving end, they have already produced the output. So this can adversely affect the interest of the farmers. Then corruption. Corruption is everywhere, and it is possible in contract farming also. There are farms who see that farmers are helpless, they have already produced, they have abundance of outputs, and then some intermediaries come in between and start negotiating that, okay, your product is not of that quality, but you provide us something, and then I will make arrangement for the procurement of product. So such kind of possibilities are always there. Then domination by monopolies. There are large firms, they enter into the negotiation with the farmers. They negotiate with a large number of farmers, and then it is possible that sometimes they start they create a monopoly type of environment, and they say they may ask the farmers to supply their products at the prices they determine. So it is another possibility. Then independence and over-reliance of advances. This is the disadvantage. This is one of the disadvantages, that indebtedness, farmers may get indebted due to heavy loans, heavy interest, credits, and then firms sometimes provide advances, and those advances they start using as a tool to leverage the farmers. So these are the, you might have heard about the China. What is the strategy of China? China provides advances and loans to the countries, the small countries, and then after some times they start leveraging those countries on its own terms and conditions. So such kind of things are possible here also. Then problem faced by contracting party. It is not only farmers who can become advantageous or who can get disadvantaged. Sometimes contracting party also face problems, and the first problem is land availability constraints. Because the large farms don't have plenty of lands to produce their output, so they are dependent on the farmers for their lands to produce the products they want. So this is the and sometimes in such cases farmers starts showing their attitude. They often starts bargaining while negotiating the terms and conditions. So farms, since they have no land, depend on the farmers, and to some extent they have to depend on the farmers. Then social and cultural constraints are also there. There are farms who can who are involved in production of heterogeneous kind of products, numerous kinds of products, but due to social and cultural constraints, traditions in some areas, in some countries, some pockets, many of the things are not possible. Suppose a farm is marketing beef, but in India, if it wants to negotiate the terms with the farmer, it will face difficulties because of social and cultural traditions in this country. Then farmers discontent. This is the farmers are often reluctant, often discontent to enter into the contracts with the farms. Extra contractual marketing is also there. And then input diversion. The farms have to divert their inputs to different farmers, and this makes sometimes handling of those inputs difficult. Then the last is public-private partnership. You might have heard about the public-private partnership. Can anyone tell you what is PPP? Any one of you? What is PPP? Public-private partnership. Any one of you? Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
What is PPP?
Yes,
You might have heard several times. What is PPP? It is already written on the slide. Can you read and can explain? As the name suggests, there are two parties. One is private party, a farmer, and then public. Public means the government. Government. So there are two parties. One is private and another is public, and they enter into a term to perform, to accomplish some task together. So this is the crux of public-private partnership. There are certain advantages with initiating partnership with the government, because government is the policy-making body. There are certain rules and regulations which are imposed governed by the government. So negotiating terms with the government is sometimes helpful, and then there are private partnership or private parties who have plenty of resources, who have adequate resources. Government cannot undertake all the activities, all the developmental works to alone. They need partnership with some of the firms, some of the corporate sectors who have abundance of the resources, and therefore it is an agreement which is based on mutual understanding and consequences, and mutual understanding and cooperation between the government and the private parties, and they together perform, they together negotiate, they together enter into the agreement, and then certain kinds of activities are performed. So a number of national highways are now constructed under the public-private partnership. In agriculture also, government has entered in public-private partnership in manufacturing of certain kinds of tools and implements, supply of tools and implements. So it is one of the models which is widely used, which is widely encouraged to perform, to accomplish certain goals set by the government. So public-private partnership is nothing. This is a form of organization funded and operated through a partnership of government and one or more private sector organizations. So essentially there are government and then one or more partner, that is from the private sector. So it is an agreement between the government and the private sector, and it is a contract between public sector organization and a private sector organization, wherein the private party provides public services and bear financial, technical, and operational risks. So private party has to provide the services, public services, and financial resources, and then there is government who enables the firm to perform the task under the congenial environment. Government supports are accorded. The congenial environment is created. The rules are eased so that they can perform accordingly. So this is the advantage of public-private partnership. So we have today discussed about the contract farming and the public-private partnership. These are the two models which of marketing of doing certain developmental works, which are now becoming highly popular and being encouraged by the government. So contract farming is simply the agreement between the farmers It is an advanced forward agreement between the farmers and the firms, where the firms enters, negotiate the terms with the farmer, negotiate the terms, negotiate the price, and farmers are supposed to provide the their output of given quality, pre-decided on pre-decided quality, on pre-decided quantity at pre-decided time and in pre-decided quantity. So this is the role of the farmers. And then the, just a minute. And then the firm provides them the predetermined price and technical and input support. So this is the advantage to the farmers, and farms get advantage by getting the output of given quantity, required quantity at the time when they need it. So this is the advantage. And then second is public-private partnership, where one party is the private party and another is the government, and it is an organizational arrangement between the government and the private party, and there is an agreement to perform certain given tasks, where the private sector provides, the private party provides resources and bears the risk, and government creates the enabling environment for those firms and allow the private party to earn the profit in the joint venture. So this is the advantage. This is the advantage of the public-private partnership. So this is all about today. Any questions? Any questions? No? Then,
No, sir.
okay, so fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you. Bye.